All right, Jared Randall here, checking in. It's been a bit of time, lots going on, a lot of exciting and really great things going on, and necessitated some time away. But today, coming back with a message that's coming through. It's got my head umbrella on, as I always tell my kids. It's a rainy day on this Tears Day, and despite the clouds and the rain, there's a clear picture from a high point that we have reached, an energetic high point. We're plateauing right now for a bit. That's one way to think of this. And it's a plateau point is a point to look around and see where we're at, and see look back down where we came from, and to realize that there are further stair steps up on the spiral upward. And here we are. The message is we made it. And that brings up the question, well, where did we make it to? The answer is that we've made it to this plateau, this energetic plateau, a point from which it's hard to be knocked off of. That's what a plateau is. It's a flat tableland, right? Where unless you're really hugging the edges, you have a lot of space to roam, and there's space to be. And it's not a place where you're in constant danger of falling back down, right? It's a place where there's landscape, there's things to do, there's things to see, there's a cohesive place that we've reached. And that's a really great message, and it's been a long time coming. We've been working on getting here for some time, and the last sort of climb up to this plateau, if you will, really began around the time of the solar eclipse back in April. And it's been all about keeping to a high vibration in terms of your own personal frequency, inhabiting the highest, or let's not say highest, let's say the most tuneful version of you, the most tuneful version of me that we can. It's not to say that we haven't hit any wrong notes. It's to say that when we hit those wrong notes, or others hit wrong notes in our vicinity, quote unquote wrong notes, we're learning how to make those notes part of the music. We're learning to keep playing, to not stop, to keep going, to keep the vibrations going, to incorporate, to transmute, to use all of that, in fact, to propel us ever higher, ever upward, and the importance of higher is not better or some misguided sense of like holiness or sacredness, or that's not the point. That's religious speak, and it's religious speak is not something I'm a fan of. I've spent a lot of my life, the early part of my life in that world, and it's always designed to keep somebody else down and to puff somebody else up. It's always designed to create ladders and staircases that are exclusive, that are tough for anyone to but oneself, or a few, a powerful few usually, to ascend. And that's not how it is. That's not reality. That's an illusion. If you want to talk about illusions, and there's a lot of talk about this world being an illusion and time isn't it. Well, no, this world is reality. It's a reality in which there is time and there is space, And these things are set very strongly in place as a form in which we may move around and act in ways that without those things we would not be able to. And that's important, and that's why we're here. And we're here to do that. And there's nothing wrong with it, and there's nothing bad about it. On the other hand, there are different timelines there, and these timelines affect not just time but also space, if you will. How things are arranged, how things are structured. And we are ascending. We are navigating upward on a spiral. And yeah, we've reached a spot, if you will, where things are, I won't want to say they're calmer. They're not going to be calmer. Things aren't necessarily always going to, when we look around at the world, be just how we want them. That's also a misconception. There's this misconception of getting to New Earth or a new world in which everything is just easy and all of our problems just magically disappear and yada yada yada, and that's not it either. What it is, there is a tug of war going on between a certain kind of darkness and a certain kind of light. And there's a certain kind of darkness that wants to pull the energy of light into a sort of death embrace and just sort of suck all the energy out of it. And this negative polarity darkness is basically a black hole. That energy just gets sucked in and it puffs up any entity connected to that kind of darkness. And it allows that kind of darkness to grow, to get bigger, to have more and more effect in what is a positive polarity place. We are in a positive polarity time space. But here on Earth especially, there's a lot of capacity for a certain type of darkness to come in and sap energy. And what this plateau is it's reached by enough of us getting to an energetic space within ourselves where we're vibrating at our most tuneful selves, at the most tuneful versions of ourselves to date. It's not that we can't get more tuneful. We can incorporate more and more and more music, and some of it seems discordant, but we can incorporate it into the music, into the tune, and we're learning how to do this. And this is frustrating, that deeply negative polarity darkness that just wants to suck our energy, because everything that it's trying to do right now is coming up kind of flat. There's an energy at work that wants things to really explode right now in a bad way, and it's not happening. And that's how we know we've reached this plateau. That negative energy center and those deeply connected to it are really scratching their heads right now and trying to figure out why the world hasn't exploded like we thought it was going to. We thought we set up everything in place. We thought we had so many people depressed and down and in a bad place that this world is just going to kind of explode, implode, and then we were going to get to do a lot of things with that. And it's not happening. It's not happening. And that's not to say that there aren't awful things happening in the world. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's limited. It's limited in a way that dark powers did not expect it to be limited. And they're frustrated, they're confused, They're angry. If anything, and this message is also a bit of a warning. I don't like to make predictions of specific things. Okay, I'm not going to do that here. But it is a warning because upon this plateau, now we're going to be reconstituting all kinds of boundaries and forces that are sometimes with each other and sometimes against each other as we keep moving upward. And we're going to have to navigate all that. The story isn't done. The music isn't over. It's still playing. And the reason we're here in a relatively good space, and I know, again, you look out at the world and it may not feel that way to some of us, and that's fine. But we are not falling into the abyss. We're not. And it's because enough of us are choosing not to fall. We're choosing not to fall into that. We're choosing to stay upbeat. We're choosing to maintain our own high vibrations, our own most tuneful selves. We've learned to be that, and we're not letting go of that. We'll let go of almost anything and anyone else, but we will not let go of that higher, if you will, that better, that, I don't like to say best, because what even does that mean? Best version of yourself. You don't even know what that is. A better version of yourself than yesterday is good enough. That's what we're learning to be and do. And there was a message that came through probably 2 or 3 weeks ago to that effect. Like all we need to do is just be ourselves. And that's what the darkness cannot understand. And I'm using this this is the negative polarity energy. Okay, this isn't darkness of a dark night, right? There's nothing wrong with a dark night. There's nothing evil about a dark night. There's nothing. While it is on that, that when we think of yin yang, or we think of the pairs of opposites, it is an opposite to the day, right? But we ascend the pairs of opposites when we realize that day and night are part of the same relationship, and we don't treat one as good and the other as evil. We ascend above that. We transcend that understanding, right? And that's what we're doing. And while we're doing that gets us to a higher, better, more tuneful version of ourselves. We've learned to be that. We've learned to not be dragged down into the discordant, into the blameful, the hateful, the jealous, the envious. We're learning all of that. Which is to say that we're going to be tested again. We'll be tested more. It'll get harder in a way, and yet it's going to be easier too. For those of us who've been holding this space, it is a time to expect others to start looking at us and go, hey, how did you get up to that space? How did you get up to that tune? I'd like that. That seems better to me. And some of us are being equipped to help others up. For others of us, there's another thing coming through, and it is that some of us get frustrated because it feels like no one else is recognizing what we're doing. And we're doing so much. And it's because from the outside, and from even people who are on a similar journey, sometimes it looks like we're not doing anything. But in fact, we're doing the most important thing. We're holding space. We're holding our energy. We are tuning in minute ways. And we're pulling in all kinds of discordancies and transmuting them and incorporating them into the music. And as we do that, all kinds of storylines that could go way, way wrong are not going way, way wrong. They might be difficult, but they're not going way, way wrong. They're not resulting in fragmentation and disintegration and hate and jealousy and all-out war and these types of things. Again, It's not to say those types of things are not going on in the world. There are those types of things going on in the world, but it isn't. We are not falling into the abyss of that. We are not. And that's why this message started with just a very simple message. We've arrived. We're here. We're here now. And that's the message. Enjoy being here now. Expect some adversity. Expect to have something happen in life that tests you a bit, so that you can see that, yes, you really are here now. You can get through this now in a way that you would not have been able to before. And now you can, because that's who you are now. And you're not going to stop being that. So be encouraged. You are not going to stop being that. You're going to continue being that. And you're going to get even more tuneful. You're going to become more and more yourself. And that's the point. So if you're on that type of journey and undergoing any kind of confusions, have questions, worries, need some support in some way, do feel free to reach out to me. There will be ways to do that in the description of this video. And do appreciate you liking, commenting, sharing. And that's pretty much it for now. Sending you all that love and peace and just as much light as you can stand, even if it's cloudy and rainy where you're at. Even the rain carries a frequency of light with it. So understand that. The light is everywhere, and we are the light too. All right. Bye now.